going to do a quick selfie with all of you people, which is amazing. There's so many of them, which is so exciting. We're so pleased to have so many people come to celebrate such an exciting exhibition. And our sort of our first one for the year, because our other one went over December. So we're so excited to see you all here. And I'm not going to try and talk too much because we all know I can. So my name's Jo Duke, in case you don't know who I am. I'm the gallery director here. And I'm delighted to welcome you to the 11th Annual Local Contemporary Art Prize 2025. It's exciting, isn't it? You probably got to see a little bit on the floor. It's an amazing show. We're really excited about it. Before I begin, I would like to acknowledge this gathering is being held on the Sunshine Coast country, home of the Gubbi and Yinnabarra peoples, the traditional custodians of the land and waters which we play, work and live on. I'd like to acknowledge that these lands are still extremely important to them culturally, economically, spiritually, socially. They're our first artists, our first storytellers, our first sharers of culture, and they still do this now, so we're incredibly lucky to share this extraordinary place we call the Sunshine Coast region. So I'm getting there. I would like to acknowledge some of our special guests. So I would like to thank everybody, all of you, for joining us tonight. It's incredibly uplifting to have community come and support your local artists. We've got so many of the artists on the floor, and for them to come here and see so many people wanting to see their art is extraordinary for them, and it's extraordinary for us. So thank you very much. I would also like to say a special welcome and a thank you to Madam Mayor Rosanna Natali, who is obviously just here. Deputy Mayor Maria Suarez, I think might be in the audience. Councillors David Law, we've got Jenny Broderick, Terry Landsberg, I think he's somewhere here, Joe Natoli and Tim Burns. So lovely to have so many of our representatives here tonight. And we actually have one or two of our other federal representatives or hopefuls on the floor as well. So thank you for coming. It's a really important place for culture here on the Sunshine Coast, our gallery. And we're really pleased to have you come and recognise how important it is for our community. We also have Fiona Heiner, the President of the Friends of the Gallery, and their executive. Very fabulous in green. And the executive is helping. They've been taking around the trays. They're extraordinary. We have representatives of our sponsors. So unfortunately Mary Hensel couldn't attend tonight, which is really sad. Hopefully she'll get to come and see the show. She's been an unbelievably amazing supporter of the Local Contemporary Art Prize for many, many years, and she's come back on board and is our sponsor for 2D Excellence Award. Stuart Border is representing the local agency Caloundra, and I'll just flip. I'm not sure, but I think Dr. Carolyn Campbell might be here, Pete Fawcett and Angela Forster for our new sponsors of this year's People's Choice Award, which is the Community Bank Caloundra Bendigo Bank. So thank you, big round of applause for our sponsors. We can't do these sort of things without them. Also, of course, our major sponsor is also obviously the Sunshine Coast Council and the Caloundra Regional Gallery, as well as our friends. We're also pleased to see our gallery patrons, Rebecca Smith and Judith Laws, on the floor. Unbelievably, looking more fabulous every time I see them. And last but most importantly, all of our Art Prize artists who are with us this evening. Can we give a big round of applause for them? A bit of housekeeping, just quickly, the amenities are at the rear of the building, to my left, just in here. You can get a key if it's locked from the bar, or it could be locked because someone's in there, so just good quiet knock. We are taking photos tonight, so please let our photographer know if you would prefer not to have your photo taken, but who is going to say no, obviously. I'm delighted now to welcome Fiona, who's the President of the Friends Committee, to the lectern. Fiona and her team are among some of the most dedicated volunteers I know, tirelessly supporting the Caloundra Regional Gallery and Council. It has been an honour and a privilege to collaborate with them to enhance the arts on the coast. Fiona.
Thank you, Jo. I offer a warm welcome to you all tonight, and I'd like to acknowledge the presence of our Lady Mayoress, Rosanna, and also our esteemed Friends patrons, Rex Backer-Smith and Judith Lawrence. Thank you for being here with us. Friends Regional Gallery is proud to be part of the local Contemporary Art Prize 2025. This annual prize, originally known as the Local Artist Local Content, was initially initiated by Mari Piggott and her Committee of Friends Regional Gallery way back in 2014. Unfortunately, Mari cannot be with us tonight, but I spoke to her this afternoon and she asked me to pass on her apologies and good wishes to everybody who are here tonight. The exhibition is now in its 11th year. This exhibition was renamed Local Contemporary Art Prize back in 2024 last year to broaden the criteria and invite our Sunshine Coast artists an entrance to create artwork of their preferred content. We're here to celebrate Sunshine Coast artists this evening. In this exhibition, whilst still seeing fabulous artwork, both realistic and abstract, inspired by our beautiful Sunshine Coast environment, there is also a greater opportunity for reflection on what truly stimulates our talented Sunshine Coast artists in the here and now. In our Jason Art Room, you will see the finalists of our local student art prize, which runs alongside this exhibition. The winner's announcement for the student art prize will take place here on Saturday morning. Friends of the Gallery aims to foster active links between the community and the regional gallery and also art practitioners in our community. We support the gallery with fundraising initiatives, advocacy and in-kind assistance with events like this, and also programs that enhance the capacity of the gallery and its programs in general. Supporting local contemporary art prize is part of our core business. Friends of the Gallery have a membership of over 300 members, and if you're not a member yet, you need to speak with us. And our committee works very closely with Jo and Jenny Jones to enhance the experience of all those associated with this beautiful gallery. Next month, we'll be running a members-only artist immersion lunch, so check in with us later, join up with friends, and come along and support all the gallery activities that we organise, as well as the council staff. As we move forward, Friends will be providing advocacy for the new regional gallery to be built across the park here in Caloundra. There are exciting times ahead, and most importantly tonight, Friends is very excited to be showcasing the wonderful artists we have amongst us here this evening, living here on the Sunshine Coast. Congratulations to all our finalists who are here this evening, and I'd like to now call upon Mayor of the Sunshine Coast, Rosanna Natoli.
Thank you, Fiona. Good evening, everyone. How spectacular is tonight? It's not raining. We're out here in this beautiful gallery. There are sparkling fairy lights, and there is a sensational exhibition just inside. Who's excited? Oh my gosh, that's not very exciting. Who's excited? Now that's better. I'm pleased that you're as excited as I am about tonight and about this exhibition and about celebrating our local artists. I'd like to also acknowledge our traditional custodians of the land on which we meet and acknowledge their connection to land, water, culture and kin, and also to storytelling and to art. Who are we if we are not sharing our stories and sharing our art? For those of you who don't know, I am also an art collector, an art appreciator, and definitely not an artist. So you don't have to worry that I could potentially make the finals list, because I'm not even at that stage, let alone even trying, but I do appreciate art. And the other thing about that is I do understand and wholeheartedly support the difference that art makes to our community. The importance of art in our community. So I know that as I stand here in front of you as the Mayor, and my colleagues are here. So you heard Councillor Broderick, Burns, Natoli, Landsberg, Law, and perhaps even Suarez. So you've already got a majority of the councillors there with 6 out of 11. And I think, yes, that's right. It does give you an indication that we understand the importance of art, and that as we stand here, we stand behind you and with you in supporting arts in our community. So that is a great place to be. Of course, I hear you say, show me the money. And that's a long queue of people saying, show me the money. And of course, we do understand that times are tough for everyone, and for council no less. But do also know that we do support the arts, and we will continue that with what we can do in council. And we are very excited about the idea of the regional gallery, and it is in fact, as we heard, just across the park there, and I'll talk a little bit about that as well in a few moments. So I'd also like to acknowledge that a night like tonight and an exhibition like this does not happen without our sponsors. So the Sunshine Coast Council's Regional Gallery for the Best in Show Acquisitive Award is $10,000 from the council, which then means that that work becomes part of the Sunshine Coast Art Collection. So that's our contribution to tonight. Mary Hensel Investments sponsoring $2,500 for the 2D Excellence Award. The Local Agents Caloundra for sponsoring the 3D Excellence Award of $2,500. And the Friends of Gallery and Community Bank Caloundra Bendigo Bank for $2,000 for their sponsorship of the People's Choice Award, which will be announced on Sunday the 8th of June. That gives you plenty of time to put your votes in tonight and also across the next 6 weeks or so. So could you please put your hands together for all of those sponsors? Because you've heard it before, events like this and exhibitions like this are not possible without the sponsors and the support. But the reason you hear that over and over is because it's the truth. Because without those people in our community willing to put their hands in their pockets and support the arts, where are we? We're certainly not here. So thank you to all of them on my behalf as well as on council. As we are here now celebrating the finalists of this year's Local Contemporary Art Prize. Now our finalists, raise your hands so we can give you another big clap. It is such a pleasure to be here tonight to launch what has become the premier art prize for Sunshine Coast-based artists. Now in its 11th year, as you've heard, the event is a highlight on the calendar for many of us, If you've come for a number of years, you know I usually MC this event, and now I've stepped up to launching it, so yay for me, and yay for all of you for still coming and supporting tonight as well. And to be here and shouting out and supporting our incredibly talented local artists, that just fills me with so much pride. This year, as I've said, it's an amazing group of finalists. From more than 200 entries, the selection committee had the tough job of narrowing it down to the final 40 pieces that we see here tonight. The work on display is a true testament to the talent in our community, and it just keeps getting better every year. So to those of you who have made the final 40, congratulations. You are among a very highly talented bunch. So yes, clap again for that. And whether you're a finalist or not, your very presence and your art really does enrich our community. And I'm delighted to be here with you as we celebrate this creativity. So again, let's give a round of applause to all the artists, not just the finalists who are here tonight. I'd also like to thank our guest judge, Claire Sonia. Now Claire, was that, oh I got it right, Claire Sonia, Director of Ipswich Art Gallery, who has had the unenviable task of selecting the winners this evening. So how about a loud round of applause? I'm really glad that I don't have to judge, that I get to be here and speak and share my love and passion for art and for this Sunshine Coast community with you. Those of you who follow along on Facebook or Instagram would know that I'm incredibly busy. I love going to events, I love being with people, I love speaking with people. And I post about it so people can know where I am, what I'm doing. The other reason I do that is about shining a light on our community. And so tonight, when I post about this event, it's about sharing that more broadly. And I challenge and encourage each and every one of you to share this with your networks too. And it doesn't need to be social media. It might be telling your neighbour. It might be telling your bridge club or your golfing club or wherever it is that you are interacting with others. It is incumbent upon all of us to share our love of the arts with other people. I sometimes think about if more people could express themselves through art, what would our community be like? If that is how we expressed our anger, our joy, our frustration, what would the Sunshine Coast look like? We'd probably have some great, big, fiery artwork around the place, as well as some beautiful, detailed, dainty work. We'd have the whole spectrum. And those of you who are artists and get to do that as a living or as a hobby, I take my hat off. I am in awe of you because it's a gift. And I know by the very fact that you're here tonight, you see it as a gift too. So tonight, as we celebrate excellence in art and we celebrate our local artists, I'm so excited to celebrate not just the winners, but each and every one of us who love the arts, who will spread that message far and wide, but also, again, celebrating those who do get the gong tonight, who our judge feels represent the Sunshine Coast, that represent that criteria of what makes excellence in art, remembering it is subjective. So to each and every one of you who have made it here, congratulations. And without any further words from me, I know you're all waiting to hear who the winners are. So I'm absolutely delighted to hand you over to our judge, and that is Claire Sonia. So thank you all very much.
The representatives of the sponsors to come up to here so that they can shake hands and hand over the certificate, if you could please.
I want to thank you now, I want to thank councillors, friends of the gallery, sponsors, distinguished guests, gallery staff. Thank you, Joe, Jenny, Nina, who kindly invited me here to judge this exhibition. At the bottom of my heart, I want to thank all of you. We can't do what we do in this sector without friends, families, and supporters. So thank you very much for being so supportive and for turning up and understanding. Now, both of our speakers this evening have spoken about our community, all the different people who make art, and it kind of solidifies in my brain, and I often get asked about this, and so I'm going to use an analogy, but we often talk about the arts as an ecology. And if there's one thing I'd say about the arts, we're like a swan. Or a mangrove. I don't know. Take your pick. You have your old growth forests, you've got your national and state galleries, you have your saplings, you have the weird organic bubbling stuff that's happening out here, and I'm quite sure what it does, but we need it. We need it. We need all the bits. We need the gallerists, the commercial gallerists, we need the writers, the curators, the illustrators, the designers, we need the painters, the sculptors, we need the hobbyists, we need everyone. And of course, not only does this ecology, do we need each other internally, but we need all the people that help us continue on this journey. And at the heart of this one, I am a regional gallery director, so I'm going to say this, but at the heart of this are regional galleries, the communities they serve, and the artists who form really strong bonds with those communities and those galleries. At the heart of what we do is we tell our stories, we share our shared humanity, we open up our perspectives around what it is to tread on this earth. And I think that as the Mayor said, who are we without our stories? I often say that galleries, theatres and libraries are the last safe spaces in our communities. We hold space for diverse voices. We disagree respectfully. They're just sacred places where we can have a diversity, which is why you're absolutely right that tonight's exhibition and the 3 works that I've selected for prizes, it's just my opinion. I would encourage everyone to have their own top 3, perhaps, or not. And it's up to you really. Before we get onto those prizes, I want to congratulate all artists. Being an artist is like being a long distance runner. It's not a sprint. You have thick skin, there's a fair amount of rejection, and you put yourself out into the public realm to be judged by someone like me. And so I want to acknowledge that already you've jumped one barrier, one hurdle, and you've made it to this shortlisting of artists in what is an excellent exhibition. So this exhibition, as I've said, sort of holds space for a number of things as you walk through it. It holds spaces for critical discussions about the world we live in. It talks to connections of place, both built and natural. And there are some similar themes that come through, because we're all human after all. But obviously, it was a really tough gig, I have to say, and I've landed with 3 works, and we're going to start with the 3D prize for excellence. So the winner of the 3D prize is a finely crafted vessel. It seems to be the holder of a multitude of marks, memories, intersections, nearnesses. When I was looking at it, I thought, there's a multitude of worlds in there. It's an artwork that, for me, spoke to solitary as much as it did to a collective journey that we are all on in this life. And so the winner of that work is Erin Connery for Parallax series. the idea that the sublime can be found in the banal. And the longer I looked at this work, the more I was impressed, not only by its formal attributes, but its humour. For me, I found it humorous. The pops of colour, quietly but brightly, asserting their place in the world. And so the winner of the 2D prize is Terence Gillespie. On first view of this particular work, I was standing quite close to it, and I actually dismissed it. I think I was too close. I was doing one of these ones, thinking, you know, if you look really closely, it looks like you're standing it more, but actually, I went for a bit of a walk. I turned the corner and came back and looked at it from a distance, and was actually, I stopped in my tracks and thought, oh my goodness, I hadn't given it enough time, and I'm a big fan of slow looking, so shame on me for not practicing what I preach. When I was close to this work, I failed to see the joyous interconnections of colour and mark making. I failed to see the splendid autumnal vibrancy of a really beautiful landscape that made me want to delve into it. And so the winner for this evening goes to Sam Vadabay from Mount Eden.
Thank you, sir. An extremely hard decision with such great works this year. We were blown away when the works went up onto the wall, and there's a really beautiful subtlety of each and every work, and the absolute skill that you can see on the floor is amazing. So really take the time to look at the works and actually get yourself really connected to them, because, you know, like Phil's work, which is a watercolour and pen, but you actually think is a photograph, you know, the swimmer, it's like extraordinary. Go, make sure you take that time to go and see and look. And it just gets better every year. So can we do another huge congratulations to the winners? Really pleased to have Sam's work now part of the Sunshine Coast collection, and it will be shown as we do, because our gallery is not capable of taking all of our collection works. We